Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge Career Mode. My name is Mephisto, and today we're heading off to Germany for round 11 of the 2000 Formula 1 season. Let's get started.
Located near the historic city of Heidelberg, the high-speed Hockenheim circuit consists of two very distinct sections. The outer section that runs through the sprawling pine forests combines huge straights with fast chicanes, whilst the technical stadium section consists almost entirely of slow corners. Originally built as a test track for Mercedes cars, this is the fastest circuit on the Formula One season.
So, here we are in Germany, ready to start qualifying, and as you can see, the weather is quite horrible. It's raining like crazy and I don't really like it. But hey, what can you do? So, coming around for our first qualifying lap, we crossed the line with a time of 1 minute 58.412 seconds, placing us in 18th for the moment. But now, on our second and final attempt, the rain has finally stopped, but the track is still a bit wet, so let's hope there's an improvement. And yes, there is, and that is a 1 minute 55.174 seconds. That's nearly 3 seconds faster, and it places us in 17th for the race. See you on the grid.
Hello there. Welcome to Germany. As we've come to expect here, the weather conditions are completely unpredictable. All we can forecast is a very exciting session. David Coulthard first. Button second. Villeneuve third. Heinz-Harald Frentzen fourth. Michael Schumacher fifth. Hakkinen sixth. Rubens Barrichello seventh. Jarno Trulli eighth. Irvine was consistently faster than his teammate. He starts ninth. Alexander Wurz 10th. Jos Verstappen 11th. Alesi 12th. Nick Heidfeld 13th. Schumacher 14th. Giancarlo Fisichella 15th. Zonta 16th. The Jaguar driver 17th. Pedro Diniz 18th. Mika Salo 19th. De La Rosa 20th. Marc Genet 21st. Mazzacane 22nd.
So, here we are on the grid, and what an interesting lineup. Coulthard in pole, followed by Button, Villeneuve and Frentzen. So those are the top 4, and Michael Schumacher in 5th, and we're off. A decent-ish start on my end, but let's see if we can gain a few places in the first corner. We pass Zonta and Fisichella. Next is the Prost of Nick Heidfeld. Perhaps we can pass him on the straight. I hope at least. Make use of his slipstream. He's gone defensive, but that's not going to deter us. And we're through. So let's have another look at the start as I try to overtake Jean Alesi. Here's the start once more. Again, a pretty decent start on my end. I rarely manage to have such good starts. And I also managed to pass 2 cars, which is good. Not as good as Austria a few days ago, but hey. Whilst we were watching that, I managed to slip past Jean Alesi, and am now chasing down Ralf Schumacher. He's around 1.2 seconds ahead, so he's quite close. But we do have to keep in mind that he is in a Williams. However, that doesn't really matter all that much during the first couple of laps. The AI is really slow during that time, which is why I usually gain most of my positions during the first lap or so. Anyway, we are up in P13 and we are gaining on Schumacher ever so slightly through the corner. It's probably just a matter of time before we'll be able to pass him. That is, of course, if I manage to don't mess up. And yes, you can mess up even on a straight road. But if I manage to stay focused enough, I shouldn't have to worry too much. Anyway, Alesi is keeping quite close at the moment, so let's try and shake him off. But we are now approaching the slower stadium section of the track, so let's see if we can pass Ralf Schumacher through here. We are now really close to Schumacher, just under half a second. However, as we exit Sash, he pulls away slightly, but with a bit of luck, we'll catch back up again in no time. But yeah, That was the first lap. Not nearly as many overtakes as in Austria, but if we could do that every time, I think these races would be a lot more boring. Basically, modern Formula 1. Very, very repetitive. And no one likes that. And I go slightly off the track there. Alright, so let's see what we can do from here. We are on lap 2 and there is an incident at the front of the pack. So let's have a quick look. Here is Jacques Villeneuve coming up on Jenson Button, and as they enter Ostkurve, they make slight contact, but nothing all that serious. So both of them should be okay. Anyway, at the moment it seems that we are keeping a constant gap to Schumacher, all the while we are increasing the one between ourselves and Lacey behind. So we at least have that going for us. And on lap 3 we close the gap on Schumacher to a little under half a second. We make use of his slipstream, nearly end up hitting him, so I back up a bit. And I have no idea why I downshifted just there. So let's see if we can outbrake him. We do. And I kinda cut the corner there, so I let Vert back in front. He is my next target. We should be able to take him through the Ayrton Senna curve. And I went off slightly there. Luckily I didn't spin. And we are slowly reeling in the Benetton of Alexander Vert. I didn't feel like I could make that, so I backed off. But we keep close to him, hopefully we'll be able to pass him soon. And this is actually quite exciting, for me at least. We are now slipstreaming Vert, slowly reeling him in. Go to the inside and we're through, and up in P11, which is absolutely amazing. Let's hope that the rest of the race goes like this as well. We are now on lap 4 and we're chasing down Jos Verstappen. Hopefully he won't break down in front of us like he did last time. He won't, but there's another incident on the track, so let's have a look. And here is Ricardo Zonta chasing Fisichella. As they enter Oscurve, they make contact. And it's a bit more violent than Villeneuve and Button not so long ago, but they do seem to be fine, so that's good. Meanwhile, we are catching up to Jos Verstappen, and it would seem that he's preparing to pit, so it shouldn't be too hard to pass him. Of course, we also have to pit soon, so I'm pretty sure we'll end up behind him anyway, but that's still some ways away. Something I forgot to mention though is that we are expecting rain, but so far the weather held up quite nicely, although I am a bit worried about it. But with Verstappen and our teammate in the pit, we'll gain 2 places and we are now up in P8. The points don't seem too far now, and next up we have the Jordan of Jarno Trulli, which theoretically shouldn't be too much of a problem. One lap later, on lap 6, at the end of which we will have to pit, I catch up to Trulli and I can hear thunder in the distance. So rain is coming. Only question is, when? But we are now making a move on Jarno Trulli. We are through and up in P7, which is amazing. I can almost taste those sweet, sweet points. But at the end of the lap I had to pit, and there are a lot of teams pitting this lap it seems. Usually we are the only ones in the pit when it's my time, but I generally have a different strategy to the AI, which usually makes it so we don't really cross paths with them. And after nearly 12 seconds we are ready to rejoin the race. And just as I reach the pit exit it starts to rain, so this means I'll have to come in again to change to either inters or wets. Thanks game, you could have at least generated the rain before I entered the pit, but no. You thought it would be much funnier to screw me over. Anyway, enough of that rant. But yeah, it really came with a bad timing. And man, it's raining hard. And we have Verstappen and Irvine ahead. As I try to test the grip levels of the track, I brake way too late and end up hitting my teammate, eliminating him from the race. Gosh darn it, my mind was still wired to dry weather racing, so I started braking as I would have in the dry. Of course, that doesn't work when the track is wet. Well, this is not good. This is the exact opposite of what I wanted. So this means we will also have a go-through penalty. So, as I bring the car back home, Fisichella and Heidfeld turn onto the pit road, but then go back onto the track, which is a bit weird. So, once we change our wing, we'll have to come in again for a go-through. That's going to lose us a whole bunch of time. I'm not happy about our situation at the moment, and in fact I feel quite frustrated. The rain really came with a bad timing. But anyway, let's get back into the race. Somehow we are still behind Jos Verstappen. Not that it matters since we need to serve our penalty. Oh wow! De La Rosa ran out of fuel. So here is Pedro De La Rosa approaching Jim Clark curve. However, he will never reach it. as he runs out of fuel before he can get there. He should have just pitted on his previous lap. Anyway, we are now 4.5 seconds behind Jos Verstappen, and Ralf Schumacher is catching up. He is 2.5 seconds behind. Again, that doesn't mean much since we have a penalty to serve, which we will do at the end of this lap. Which means our chances to score any points today are pretty much zero. And I go off the track, lose control of the car, and slam into the barrier, breaking off my rear wing. This is really not good. The rear wing will take a lot of time to replace. Here's another look at my major cock-up. I exit Ost curve, go a bit wide, and due to the difference in grip levels on the grass and the track, the car fishtails and I am unable to save it. This is a bit later on, just as I try to slow down for Ayrton Senna curve. I lose the back again and start to slide all over the place. And actually I do this through every single corner. Missing rear wing plus wet track equals no grip and no control over the car. And there I am again, going for a spin. At this rate, I'll probably reach the pits by Christmas. But that's okay, we have plenty of time. No, not really. Here, let's try that again. Perfect. 10 out of 10. And one last time at the pit entrance, just for good measure. Well, that took me forever. And Marjorie is having problems with his engine. Let's have a look at that while I go and change my wing. So here's Janae coming through a jip curve, then through Sush, and as he exits the corner, his engine starts smoking. So that's the end for him. And after 39 seconds of being stationary, I'm finally ready to rejoin the track. At this point I don't think there's any reason to serve a go-through penalty, since I'm in last place and 38 seconds behind the next car, with only one lap left. This is so disappointing. But anyway, here we are coming one last time through the stadium section, and just in case I haven't made enough mistakes already throughout the race, I make a few more with only a few hundred meters away from the finish line. Not a good race at all. And it started out so well. At the beginning it seemed so promising, but as we entered the second half, everything went south. So here's a quick replay of my final mistakes. I first go wide through the corner and off onto the grass, resulting in a spin, and next, Rubens Barrichello tries to get past me, but he loses control of his car instead. Here it is one more. He actually hits me it seems, then he loses control and I think a few places as well. But yeah, that was a disappointing second half. If only the rain had started sooner, all of that could have been avoided. However, that wasn't the case, so I ended up losing. And to make matters worse, next round is the Hungarian Grand Prix, and that is one of my least favorite tracks. And I know for a fact that I won't be scoring any points there, and sadly there are only a few more opportunities for me to score. Anyway, let's have a look at the standings.
It's been a fascinating German Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the final results. Hakkinen first. Jenson Button second. Villeneuve third. Coulthard fourth. Schumacher fifth. Trulli sixth. The Jaguar driver 18th.
Hakkinen increases his lead to 80 points. Michael Schumacher gains 2 more points, bringing his total up to 47 points. Jenson Button moves into third with 34 points, just 1 point more than 4th place David Coulthard. Barrichello is 5th with 13 points. Villeneuve moves up into 6th with 11 points. And in 7th we have Fisichella, Verstappen and ourselves with 9 points. Ralf Schumacher is 8th, so is Nick Heidfeld with 8 points. Eddie Irvine is 9th with 7 points. Mika Salo is 10th with 5 points. Frentzen is 11th with 4 points. 12th is shared by Wirtz and Zonta with 2 points. And Trulli joins Mazzacane in 13th with 1 point. On to the constructors now. McLaren increased their lead. They now have 113 points. Ferrari now have 60 points. Williams are in third with 42 points. Jaguar, our team, are in fourth with 16 points. And now close behind are BAR with 13 points. Sixth is held by Benetton with 11 points. Arrows are in seventh with 9 points. Sauber and Prost share eighth with 8 points. Jordan are ninth with 5 points. And finally, Minardi are in 10th with 1 point. Well, this is pretty much it for this race. A very disappointing result, but what can you do? At the very least we managed to finish the race, although that is little consolation. And as we will get closer and closer to the end of the season, the pressure of scoring points will be greater. And greater pressure means more mistakes, unfortunately. Anyway guys, join me next time when we'll be heading off to Hungary for round 12 of the season. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.